bring me closer to heaven with you. And I was specifically writing it for, our troops in Iraq and people that are in war anywhere in the country or anywhere in any country that are away from people they love.
And instead of bitching and complaining about whose fault it is or why they're over there, fighting wars, it's just the human element of just being separated from the people you love.
But I also think that the song's not so directed at that to where someone that's just on vacation or someone that's on tour and missing their loved ones can't relate to the song. If anything had gone perfectly in the studio, it would definitely be that song. We had a guest female vocalist, Shauna Crooks. She's absolutely amazing. She's part of the Music Mafia. Had a great opportunity to meet the guys in Big and Rich, and they've just completely befriended us, and we have a mutual respect. We're really about music without prejudice, so that's how they put it. Hey, sing it like a lead, like, fuck this background shit, we'll bring it down. Yeah, be loud. Our boundaries are endless as well. We've always been pushing the envelope and trying to just incorporate anything that we've ever heard out of our influences into our music.
And I think about 6 months from now, when I've been on tour, that song's really going to hit home to me because we all miss our families and friends. So I think that's just a really great song with great lyrics and a very Western cool vibe.
When are we putting the claps on this one? Pretty good. All over the whole song.
Brompton Cocktail. When I first heard that song, I nearly shit myself. Brompton Cocktail has one of the sickest grooves on the album. It's very laid back, very vibey. Brompton Cocktail is one of the last songs that the Rev kind of was brewing up, and he brought it to us, and we all kind of started fucking around with it. Brompton Cocktail, I kind of had the idea for, it's kind of a hip-hop-ish type of really heavy, subtle groove parts, like in the verse. Lenny Castro laid down some amazing percussion on that kind of stuff, and just really just put the whole song in the pocket. He was an awesome groove track. It reminded me a lot of Tool. When they were doing a lot of percussion, a lot of the, percussion wasn't on there at first, but I could hear percussion in it. We laid down some great strings that are just really accentuated type stuff that just really help with the groove. We really wanted to have strings put in the verses to really answer and call things to the vocal line and to the riff. We wanted to bring, for the lead part, bring in strings instead of guitars. So that would add like an Avenged Sevenfold vibe to it. And I wanted to mix it with violins and give it kind of a Alanis Morissette, uninvited type of vibe.
It was just great that these guys came in to help out and make it so that we got this all done in the amount of time we had to do it.
I think that everything that we laid down on that song just completely helps that groove out so much. Shadows has some amazing lyrics that I think a lot of people can relate to. Chorus, love the chorus. I actually re-sang the song like 3 times just to be completely happy with it. It's kind of one of those things where I just had to keep working on the vocals to get them where I wanted them. That's awesome. That's fun. so good.
On a funny note of the song, a lot of the stuff that was written by the Rev, the stuff he written on guitar was actually very awesome, but it was about me and Sin's worst nightmare, because anytime a drummer writes on a guitar, he makes up notes that are pretty much unheard of to an average guitarist. Our fingers are stretched out like this. When we're playing the guitar, our fingers look like this, stuff you've never seen. But it's actually really fun. It's something I never even think of doing myself. So it's kind of pushed me to learn this new style, And then Sin used some cool effects on the solo, too.
I don't know how you could grab that shit so fantastically.
We stacked that song, even though it sounds very minimalistic. It's got a ton of shit in it, but it all works in its favor.
But overall, the song's just very powerful, and it came across really great. I'm out of here. Jesus Christ.
Track it.
This is where all the bullshit on the album happens. Low-end bullshit that just fucks with your ears and makes you really sad. Sometimes it's round up.
Can't spell bass without ass. Right now we have a song tentatively titled Disneyland Acid Trip. When you hear it, I think you'll kind of understand why.
I wrote this silly piano part with this drum. I had this idea, like this old, like Western, like with the old piano that plays itself, and with the drum roll behind it and stuff. And I wrote this verse, and then I showed it to everybody, and then I wanted to immediately throw it away. And everyone was like, "No, yeah, that's rad. You got to keep that. You got to keep that." We were writing it. We were kind of just like, how should we approach this song? It wasn't really coming together. A lot of songs were passing it up and growing. This one was kind of staying stagnant between verse and just, we didn't really know what we wanted to do, but everything we were kind of adding to this thing created this vibe. So we finally one day asked ourselves, what does this song remind you of? What do you think of when you're writing this song? And we came up with a flying carpet ride. We were like, this is a flying carpet ride. And as we kind of went along, which happened much faster after that, we just realized it's much more than a flying carpet ride. It's like being on acid at Disneyland. And we were like, well, let's do like the electric parade in Disneyland when you're on acid. We had Jamie lay down the piano on it and work his butt off on it and just get that thing perfect. Just did all this kind of classical type stuff. And then we're going to change the whole vibe. We're going to this pirate type. Some of my favorite, just nuanced type guitar work, a la Walter Rice.
Walter. So I still got a Walter. Damn! We got a Walter? I'll get him.
Oh, you real thing.
You want some water?
No, just some Walter.
We wanted to have a song that just had a real religious choir to it.
Yeah, so the singers in the choir come in and they're really great to work with, because you can say, here's the parts to sing and do it right away and get an attitude and get an approach that you want. And then if you try new things and try adding something, they're really quick about doing it and learning it. The added dimension of that many voices on the track behind Matt's amazing singing. Some of the choir was just going, man, how